Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. In today's tutorial we are going to be doing this multicolored short. You can do it in a single color if you wish. I wanted to do the multicolor. It's stretchy, it's a booty short, it's simple, it's easy, it's fast. You can do it just within a few hours. And yeah, in this size I'm doing a size extra small. Yeah, a size extra small. We start with the waistband, work the waistband, and then do the bottom. This is how it fits on me. I'm an extra small, and I'll be telling you how to do the other sizes. So let's get into the tutorial. In this tutorial, I used a tape measure. You'll need one. I used this Regia wool. It recommends a 2 to 3 millimeter hook. I'm using a 3 millimeter hook, so get any yarn that you have. I'll be doubling my strand because it is quite thin and I want a medium weight kind of, weight. It is a 3.0 millimeter hook that I'll be using, and you'll need scissors too. All right, so to start, we're going to start with the waistband, and we're going to work from one side to another side, one side from side to side. So I'm going to double my strand, and I used a total number of 150 grams. So this is 3 balls of this yarn. So I'm going to make a foundation chain, make a slip knot, and you are going to make 15 chains. So our width of the waistband is 15 chains, which is about 3 inches. So I have my 15. Once you have your 15, you are going to add 2 chains. So that's 1 and that's 2. And start off row 1, you're going to skip the first 2 chains, and into the third chain you'll make a half double crochet. So for the waistband we're going to be using half double crochet. You have 3 loops on the hook and then pull through all. Go into your next chain, make a half double crochet like this. Into the next chain, make a half double crochet, and for row 1 we are going to make a total of 15 half double crochets. I skipped one there, so right here, make a total of 15 half double crochets, and I will meet you for row 2. And for row 2 we'll be working only in the back loop to give us that stretchy feel of the waistband. So see you at row 2. So I'm done with row 1. I have my 15 half double crochets, and for row 2 this is an equivalent of about 3 inches, almost 3 inches. All right, so for row 2 3 inches. You can make it wider if you want, but I want it that wide, 3 inches wide. So you are going to chain 2 chains, turn your work, and we are working only in the back loop. So leave alone the chains that we've chained. We are going to be working from the first stitch only in the back loop. Leave these 2 chains and work into your first stitch only in the back loop. Okay, so we are working in the back loop, and we make a half double crochet. Go into your next back loop and make a second half double crochet into the third back loop to make our third half double crochet, and we are going to work half double crochets all through until we have a total number of 15 half double crochets. Okay, so work in the back loop only until you have a total number of 15 half double crochets, and we will meet to do row 3. I'm done with my row 2. Now we're going to row 3. We'll chain 2 chains, yarn over, and into our first back loop we'll make a half double crochet on top of that very first stitch. So we're going to the second stitch in the back loop, make your second half double crochet, go into the third stitch with a half double crochet. We are working only in the back loop, and this is going to be the repeat. We are going to repeat row 2 until we have enough to cover our hips measurements. So take your hips measurements. This is what we are going to use, your hips measurements. And once you are making this waistband, keep stretching it in that it stretches to your hips measurements, like really stretch it to your hips measurements, because we want it to be fitting. So stretch it until you get your hips measurements. Mine is 33 inches. I will keep working until I get to 33 inches. All right, so this is what I have after a couple of rows, and this fits my hips when stretched, like when really stretched. As you can see, when I've not stretched it, it is about 22 inches. Yeah, 22 inches when not stretched, but when I stretch it, it gets to 33 inches, which is my hips measurement. So stretch your waistband to your hips measurements, okay? Because we want shorts that are quite fitting, and yeah. So that's it. Now we're going to join the two sides together. Once you have your hips measurements, we will join the two sides together just to complete our waistband. And I will be using a slip stitch in this case, so I'll pull through the yarn to this other side and then go into that very first stitch and make a slip stitch. Go into this first stitch, make a slip stitch, go into the next in the next stitch, both the front and at the back, and make a slip stitch to join the two sides together. And I'm going to do this until I get to the top, and I'll meet you once you have both sides joined together using a slip stitch. Meet you at the top. I am done, and this is how it looks on the wrong side where we're working. And of course we'll have to turn it around, so I'm going to chain 1 and turn it around. This is what the right side looks like. So for the first row after this, now we're going to work downwards, and we are going to work using a single crochet. So insert a single crochet in that very first ridge, and on top here where we have the half double crochet, I'm going to insert a single crochet. Below in the ridge, I will insert a single crochet. In the double crochet here, half double crochet, sorry, I will also insert a single crochet. On top of the ridge, a single crochet. In the stitch, a single crochet. In the bottom ridge, a single crochet. In the stitch, a single crochet. At the top ridge, a single crochet. So I'm inserting a single crochet in the top ridge, in the stitch, in the bottom ridge, in the stitch, in the top ridge, in the stitch, like that. By stitch I mean the half double crochet from the rows that we made. Okay, so basically it's 2 single crochets in every stitch, that is at the bottom and in the middle, at the bottom, in the middle, that is in the ridge and in the stitch. So by the end of it, or if, for example, if you had 60 rows, you should have 120 single crochets. So it's double the number of rows that you had for your waistband. All right, so I'm done with my single crochets, my row of single crochets, and I'm going to close this off with a slip stitch on top of that very first single crochet. Slip stitch, and then we are now going to row 1, which is going to be a row of double crochets. So I'm going to chain 3, And this is going to be my first stitch. Leave alone where we put the slip stitch, but this right next is going to be my first stitch, and I'm going to make a double crochet there. Going to the next stitch, make a double crochet. Into the third stitch, make a double crochet, and we're working in both loops. We are working in both loops, and you are going to make one double crochet, sorry, in every stitch until you get to the end of this row, and I'll come show you how we finish it off. Okay, see you here. All right, so I'm at the end of the row, and this is my last stitch. As you can see, leave alone the one where we have the slip stitch, leave that alone. So our chain 3 counts as a stitch, so you're going to count into the third chain, make a slip knot. So our chain 3 always counts as a stitch on its own. So you're going to chain 3, and on top of the first double crochet, the previous one, leave alone where we have the stitch, on top of this first double crochet, you are going to make a double crochet. Going to the next stitch, make a double crochet. Into the next stitch, make a double crochet. And you are going to continue making double crochets until you get to the end of the row, and I show you how to finish it off one more time. All right, so I'm at the end of the row, and I'm going to have my last stitch on top of the previous double crochet. So we close this row off with a slip stitch into the third chain like this. So as you can see, all the stitches are aligned. Now I chain 3, and I'm going to repeat on top of the previous double crochet. That's where I will insert my first stitch, and all the stitches will be in line. Where there's a chain, it will be on top of the previous chain, and where there's the last double crochet, that's where you have your last double crochet stitch, and on top of the previous double crochet, that's where you'll have your first. As simple as that. I'm going to repeat this pattern all around until I have a total number of 8 inches for the size extra small. For small and medium, do 8.5 inches. For large and extra large, you can do 9 and XX 9. So yeah, I'll see you once you have those inches. I'll have a total number of 8 inches from top to bottom. Okay. So these are my 8 inches. I have my kind skirt looking like ready. So this is my 8 inches. It's around 8 there. So this is for extra small. For small and medium, have 8.5. And then for the rest, you have 9. So I'm just going to put this aside and cut off the yarn. I have a chain 1 here, so let's cut this yarn off, and we are going to determine the middle. So this where my yarn is going to be on the side, and I'm going to count stitches from here all to this other side, and then divide them into 2 so that I know where to put my stitch marker here in the middle, where to put our leg holes. So the crotch area is what we'll put here. All right, so put your skirt and divide it into half. I already counted my stitches on this side and on this other side. I know that this is the middle part, so these are my 2 leg holes, but I need to put the crotch area. So I will reattach my yarn on one side, and for the extra small and for the small size and the medium, we are going to make 14 chains. Okay, so I reattach my yarn and I'll make a total number of 14 chains. So this is for the extra small, the small and the medium sizes. So if you're any other size, if you're large and extra large, add 5 chains to that, so it will be 19. And if you're XXL, add another 5 chains so that you have 24 chains. Okay, so now I'm going to attach it to the other side where there's my stitch marker. Like this. And we are going to work on the right side. So I want to begin my row 1. I'll chain 3. I turn my work to the right side. I'm working on the right side, and I'm going to work in this very first stitch with a double crochet, going to the next stitch with a double crochet, and I'm going to work a row of double crochets just like before, all around this leg hole until I meet you once I'm back here at the chain. All right, so I went all around and I'm back here at the chain. I just want to show you how to work this chain. So in this first stitch, in this first chain, I'll make a double crochet, and I'll go ahead and make a double crochet into my second chain, and into the third chain, make another double crochet. And I'm going to make double crochets in every chain until I get to the other side where I started my row, and I will meet you once I'm right there. I'm at the end of the chain, and I'm going to slip stitch into my third chain here like this, and then go for row 2 by chaining 3. And we are just going to continue working on top of this first double crochet. I'll make my first double crochet and go into the next stitch with a double crochet. And you already know this pattern. I'll just keep going round and round until I have a total number of 3 rows. You can make longer rows if you want, you know, the short to be a bit longer, because mine is a booty short, so this depends on you. So keep making until you have enough rows, and then I'll come we do this other leg hole too. Okay, see you once you're done with one. So I'm done with my first leg hole. This is how it looks like, and we're going to do the second leg hole, which is basically the repeat of this. And yeah, so I'm going to get my yarn and reattach it here at the beginning on the right side, and instead of putting it inside here, which will create a big hole, I'll just go on top of this stitch like this, so that it is more tight. All right, so we're going to make 3 chains, and in this very first chain here or stitch, I will make a double crochet, and I'm going to insert 1 double crochet in every chain until I'm at the end of in every stitch, until I'm at the other side over these chains, the crotch area, then close it off and repeat until I have 3. It's the same thing that you did for this side, so just mirror it, and I'll see you once you're done. All right, so I'm done with my 3 rows, and this is how it looks. This is our shorts. You can make it longer if you want. I want a short one because I want to make something else out of it, but for now, this is what you should have. Clean off the loose ends, sew in your ends, and we'll come and do the waistband, the drawstring in the waist, because you know we want it to be able to tighten our shorts especially when you have big hips. So once it is tightened, tidied up, this is how it looks. And let's make the string. You're just going to get your yarn and make a long chain that fits around your hips and maybe plus about 5 inches. So for me, I'll make about 38 inches. That should be able to get through my hips easily. So make your chain. I'll see you once you have the chain. All right, so I have my chain. This is how it looks like. I left a tail, and I'm going to use this darning needle to put it through my waist, my short waist, the waist of my short, I think. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I got it. So you're going to go to the waist, and this is the middle part. So I will do it from the inside, because I want to, once I tighten my short, I just want to push it inside so that it's not seen. And I'll go in between the rows like this, in and out, in and out, and then do as I push through. And I will do that until I'm all around the short and back right here. Right, so I'm done. I put it through, and this is how it looks. So you can adjust the waist with this string easily, especially when you have big hips and then you have a small waist. This will come in handy. So yeah, we have your shorts, and this is how it looks like when I have it on, when I put it on. I hope you like it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't subscribed. Bye, guys.